Many ridicule it. Even Christians scoff at our hope and falsely claim that no one believed such a thing for the first 1800 years of the church. Yet for us, it's truly our blessed hope because of the great comfort and encouragement it brings to us. Hello, my name is Jonathan Brittner, and in this podcast, I want to look at what Jesus said about the event we call the rapture. He spoke of his future return to calm the hearts of his troubled disciples, and now, almost 2,000 years later, his promise in John 14, verses 1 to 3, still calms our troubled hearts. In the upper room, just hours before his arrest, Jesus spoke these words to his disciples. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. And those words again are in John 14, verses 1 to 3. Although Jesus had repeatedly told his disciples about his impending death and resurrection, the disciples did not fully understand his warnings until after his resurrection. On the night before his crucifixion, Jesus told them that he was going away and they could not follow him, at least not at that time. Sensing their grief over what he had just told them, Jesus sought to encourage their hearts with an amazing promise. He would come back for them and take them to his Father's house, where in the meantime he would prepare a place for them. I know that the King James Version uses the word mansion in verse 2, but the word in the Greek simply denotes a dwelling place or a residence. The fact that there are so many rooms points to the fact that a large number of people would later put their faith in Jesus. You see, there will be room for all of us. There will be a place, a home. Now, Jesus' question in verse 2, if it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you, indicates to me that he had already told his disciples about a place, about his preparation of a place, that is, for them, and he was again emphasizing it in response to their troubled hearts. In verses 2 and 3, Jesus says he's preparing a place, or a topos, in the Greek. In almost all of this word's 90 plus usages in the New Testament, topos denotes a physical location. It frequently signifies a specific location, such as a city, a village, or a particular area. The word Jesus chose for prepare, hetoimazo, also highlights the fact that our future home will be physical and tangible. Paul used this very same word when he asked Philemon to prepare a lodging place for him, and we read this in Philemon 22. In Hebrews 11:16, the writer also uses this word in reference to the preparation of a city, which I believe is the New Jerusalem, described in the last chapters of the book of Revelation. Notice the writer's words in reference to Abraham and others in Hebrews 11:16, where he writes, but as it is, they, that's Abraham and others, desire a better country, that is, a heavenly one, where God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared for them a city. There again is that word prepared, hetoimazo, that Jesus used back in John 14. Of course, I believe this is a reference to the New Jerusalem as described in Revelation chapters 21 and 22. Our future homes will be there. The beauty of this huge city will overwhelm us. Just think, our rooms will be in the very city inhabited by God himself, as well as our Savior. Does not this alone tell us it'll be far beyond amazing and anything we can imagine at this particular time? Now, I emphasize the physical nature of Jesus' promise in John 14, verses 2 and 3, because so many say this promise is just spiritual, donating a place for them in God's redemptive program. No. The words Jesus used signify a real, physical, tangible place in heaven. a permanent physical abode for our immortal bodies that will be just like his, according to Philippians 3, verses 20 to 21. Jesus promised to build a place for us in heaven reminds me that his earthly father was a carpenter who surely would have trained his oldest son in the very same trade. Do you think it's just a coincidence that the one trained to build things during his youth is building a place for us? I don't think so either. Consider this. Jesus is not building our future residence in some obscure location in the universe, although I'm sure even that would be spectacular. No, he's preparing a place for us where he will dwell forever in the eternal state. He's constructing a room for us in his very own home. Wow, let that sink in. Jesus wants us to be close to him for all eternity. I also believe that Jesus' comforting words in John 14, 1-3 assure us of a pre-tribulation rapture. Colossians 3:4 assures us that when Christ appears, we will appear with him in glory. Now rest assured that the word glory doesn't refer to any location in our current world. Jesus is coming to take us to where he said he was going. In John 13:36, Jesus responded to Peter's initial question about his leaving them with these words, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow afterward." At the time of the rapture, we will follow Jesus to our home in heaven, the one he's preparing for us. It doesn't get any better than that. Just as with Peter, we will follow Jesus. In addition, why would Jesus mention his Father's house in the context of his return for us if it was not his intention to take us there? His words tell us that at the time of the rapture, he will take his followers, that's us, to his current residence in heaven. His promise in John 14 is to take us to where he is at. Later, we will return to the earth with him in his second coming. As Jesus explained a little bit later that same evening, one of his purposes in taking us to where he is at is to show us his eternal splendor. Notice his prayer request in John 17, verse 24, in the midst of his high priestly prayer, where he prayed, "Father, I will that they also, whom thou hast given me, be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory, which thou hast given me. For thou hast loved me before the foundation of the world." Notice that Jesus uses the same expression in this verse is in John 14:3, "where I am." Jesus longs to bring us up to his Father's house in order to show us the full display of his glory, that which he possessed before he came to the earth. Jesus is not only coming to take us to where he now dwells, but he's also coming to show us his glory, to show us the full splendor of who he is. In 1 John 3:3, Jesus mentions the forever impact that this will have upon us, where he writes, "We know that when he, Jesus, appears, we shall be like him, because we shall see him as he is." Seeing Jesus in his glory will forever change us. This happens in heaven after he comes for us. It doesn't happen on the earth. It comes when he comes for us, for when he appears, we appear in glory with him. Just think for a moment about what all these things mean for us now as we await his appearing. During this Christmas season, the idea of home brings back memories of days long gone. Some are joyful, others are painful. The rejection or indifference that many have felt in the past from loved ones often puts a damper on our current celebrations at home. But Jesus is preparing a place for us. When he comes for us, we will soon forget all the sorrows of this life amid the joy of seeing Jesus in the place, the wonderful place he has prepared for us. And yes, our home will be a place of many celebrations, none of which we will ever regret or feel sorrow over. Secondly, In the place Jesus is making ready for us at this moment, we will never again experience loneliness, rejection, abuse, and heartache. Many of us will be surrounded by family members and loved ones who've gone before us, who will also inhabit immortal and sinless bodies. We will all, without exception, enjoy the companionship of a myriad of other saints. Personally, I don't want a mansion all to myself in eternity. I want a residence, a room in spacious mansions above, where many other saints will also have rooms. Third, Jesus knew what it meant to be homeless during his earthly ministry. Can there be any doubt that what he prepares for us will be a joyous home? Can there be any doubt that he'll take that into consideration as he is now preparing a place for us? He knows all about our painful experiences and struggles in this life, and because of that, we know that these things will never again happen to us in the place Jesus is preparing for us. Lastly, the more I read about the violence, wickedness, corruption, lawlessness, and deception of our current day, the more I long for Jesus to come and take me away from this world. With each passing day, this world seems increasingly foreign to me, and I long for Jesus to come. Can you see why our blessed hope is so, blessed? Nothing on earth can compare with the joy we'll experience when the rapture occurs. Nothing. It's at that time we will see Jesus in the full display of his glory, and that alone will forever change us. Nothing will be the same after we see Jesus in all his glory. I want to thank you again for viewing this podcast, and if you wish, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you will be notified of future podcasts.